Hmm. So, namaste. Welcome. I'm just so delighted to be here, and thanks to Mary Jean and to Awakening Spirituality for providing this opportunity to practice together. This is our first session for what I hope will become a monthly online group to explore and practice different types of meditation to help soothe our nervous systems and calm our minds during these very challenging times. I would like to start with a land acknowledgement. And I am joining from Lethbridge, Alberta, the traditional lands of the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprised of the Kainai, Piikani, and Siksika First Nations. And so we honor the Blackfoot people and their traditional ways of knowing and caring for this land, as well as all Aboriginal peoples who have helped shape and continue to strengthen our community. So I invite you, if you like, to share in the chat where you're joining from and perhaps the land acknowledgement there. So a little bit about myself. I'm Vicki MacArthur, and I've had a small yoga and meditation studio here in Lethbridge for almost 25 years now. And we're kind of in transition right now. But I've always had this passion for sharing these practices for well-being, for connecting with a universal spirit or mystery, God, however you name that. And I've been a yoga and meditation teacher for almost 30 years. So I bring a lot of embodied awareness into meditation. And I'll be including breath and body awareness, a little bit of movement and stillness, of course. We'll be paying attention to sensations, our thoughts, our feelings. All is welcome here. I'm also an ordained minister and spiritual director, and yet I have an interspiritual heart that loves and honors the wisdom and practices of all religions and spiritual traditions. So you'll find me using a lot of inclusive language and integrated practices that help point to the oneness at the heart of being. I also have a deep mystical heart connection to Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh, and I've been very blessed to be in retreat with him and his monastic community before his passing earlier this year. So you'll also find me integrating a lot of Plum Village practices and teaching into these classes, including bell meditation, some sitting meditation, walking meditation, maybe some eating meditation. Chocolate's always good for that, and deep relaxation. And the best thing about these practices is that they can be expanded into our daily lives so that mindfulness becomes a habit and a way of life. So I want to acknowledge how difficult the past 2 years of this pandemic have been for so many of us, creating a sense of isolation and anxiety and worry, fear and fatigue, and a potent reminder of just how uncertain life really is. We're not in control. COVID-19 has showed us the cracks in our healthcare system, especially when caring for the elderly and vulnerable. COVID-19 has show the fragility and inequality of our global food supply and all those involved in getting our food from farm to table. COVID-19 has created division in our families, in our schools, in our workplaces, in our churches, across provinces, across our country, across the world. And add to this the devastating effects of climate change, radicalized fringe groups and conspiracy theories, and now the reality of a brutal war in the Ukraine. So yes, we all need to take a collective breath in to relax, release, and renew. So during difficult and uncertain times is when we most need these practices to calm and self-soothe ourselves. When our lives are unpredictable, we can be easily knocked off our center at any moment by the slightest wind of change. And when we're off balance, we often become defined by whatever's happening, and we can get caught in very reactive mindsets and responses. And we're certainly seeing lots of that across the globe these days. So through the skillful practice of mindful attention, we can learn to self-soothe whenever life gets tough and regain our balance again. Self-soothing begins with softening into our experience, breathing into our experience, and using mindfulness to relax and accept that, yes, this moment is like this, no matter what's happening in our life, even amidst some of the chaotic moments. And it's in this softening that creates a spaciousness where we can start to investigate our experience and hopefully gain access to insight about what we might do or what our response might be, both for ourselves, to other people, and in the communities we serve. Mindfulness always starts with the body. So it's our breath, our feelings, our thoughts, our sensations are all part of our embodied experience. And our body is the interface between the physical and the spiritual. Our bodies can point to a sense of inner presence, which is beyond all our beliefs and conditionings and reactivity. It seems these days a lot of people live their lives on autopilot, driven by the same beliefs and habits, and always reacting in the same way to stress and outer stimuli, and never really taking time to investigate why they act in certain ways. It's as if they live in a dream world, sleepwalking through life without knowing it, unaware that there's a whole different way of inhabiting our world. So our meditation is an invitation to dive beneath the surface and make what is usually unconscious conscious, to awaken to our true and unbounded self. So this series, this group, I've called it Beyond Awakening, Meditation for Uncertain Times. And I believe that all of us have had moments of awakening in our life, moments when we sense the underlying unity or presence of God, of love, of nirvana, of suchness, whatever you want to call this universal spirit. And these moments of awakening often surprise us. They come at unexpected moments. And they're quite often simple moments where we sense something greater than ourselves. Might be just watching a sunrise or a sunset, gazing up into the vastness of the sky at night, sitting by the ocean, looking into the eyes of a newborn baby. So many ways that we can awaken when we're paying attention and not too distracted to notice. And sometimes we call these moments of awakening being in the flow, or we might think of them as a mystical experience. But perhaps it's really a state of consciousness we can have access to all the time, or more often. And so, is it possible to sustain this kind of attention and awareness in our daily life? Yes. That's the essence of what I invite us to explore together in this monthly practice group. Practices of presence that create peace in ourselves and peace in the world. And anything we do that helps us connect to the source of peace helps us to trust in these difficult times. And so we practice not only for ourselves, but so that we can be a stabilizing and calm, peaceful, supportive presence to others. So we're going to get to the practice now. And I have called this meditation this evening a welcome home meditation, coming home to our true self. And so it's a practice of welcoming ourselves into this sacred online space together, welcoming all of who we are, who we've been, and who we are becoming. Welcoming our bodies, our thoughts, our feelings, our hopes, our dreams, our fears, our personality, our quirkiness. All is welcome here. So every time we practice, I'm going to be introducing a self-soothing or regulating practice to help calm and soothe our nervous systems. And these practices are good for preparing for meditation as we're doing, but they can also be standalone practices that you can do whenever you're feeling a sense of busyness or stress or overwhelm in your life. And they're all embodied practices. So I invite you right now to find a posture that best supports you to let your body and your mind settle. And if you're sitting in a chair, feel both feet in contact with the ground. So you have that sense of being grounded and stable. If you're sitting on a cushion, make sure that you feel comfortable, that you can sit tall and relaxed. And comfort is important. If we're not comfortable, we're not going to be able to settle. So taking a deep breath in, breathe in, and as you exhale, feel that sense of your body settling into your chair or your cushion. And notice how you arrive here in your body. And take another deep breath in, that fresh air. And as you exhale, again, that sense of settling into this space. Acknowledge whatever is on your mind or left over from your day. And take one more deep breath in. Fill your lungs. Pause a moment. And as you exhale, again, just feel yourself settling more deeply into your chair or your cushion. And continuing to simply breathe naturally and easily. And as you breathe, take a moment and bring attention to the feeling of your ears. And take a moment to listen to the sounds around you in your space. And now take your fingers and just take your thumb and your pointer finger and just gently rubbing the edges of your ears here. So our ears have lots of nerve endings and acupressure points, and it can be quite calming and soothing to just gently rub our ears. And you can rest your hands back down. And take a moment now to listen again. Maybe your ears feel a little bit more open, a little bit more receptive. We acknowledge outer sounds and then we move inwards. Maybe you can notice the sound of your breath or even the sound of your own heartbeat. Continuing to breathe. And now take your hands together and rub them and create some warmth and some heat. Now, if you're wearing glasses like I am, you might have to take them off for a moment and place your hands over your eyes and just feel the warmth of your own hands, the blessing of your own touch, and that sense of all the tiny muscles around the eyes relaxing and softening, letting go of all the outer distractions of sight. Take a few more breaths, breathing in that warmth of your hands. And then you can gently release your hands back down again. And just take a moment to notice how your eyes feel, maybe a little bit more relaxed, especially if you've been on a computer screen a lot. It's good to take this time. And now take a hand or even both hands to your heart center for a moment. Just have a sense of feeling the breath there, the rise and fall of your chest. And notice what your heart center feels like. Quite often, with the busyness of life, we can feel quite tight and restricted around our heart center in our chest. So another practice we can do here is a little bit of tapping across our chest. And we're going to do this tapping to the sound of our own heartbeat. So you're going to take your fingertips and just gently tapping. Tap, 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 tap. So you're tapping on your sternum, tapping along the collarbones, and you're continuing to breathe. So this practice is helping to release some of the restriction. It's increasing the blood flow and the flow of prana and energy. And also, the heartbeat sound reminds us the time of being safe and secure in our mother's womb. So all of these practices to soothe and regulate our nervous system, especially in challenging times. And let it become a little bit softer, more subtle. And finally, just resting your hands back down in your lap or on your thighs. And again, pay attention to sensation in your heart center. Perhaps it feels a little bit more open, a little bit more ease of breathing. And so now, as we move into our time of meditation, having calmed and soothed our nervous systems, I'd like to start with 3 sounds of the bell. Now, this practice of listening to the bell comes from my beloved Buddhist teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh. And all of our sessions, whether meditation or Dharma talks, always started with the sound of the bell. And also, randomly throughout the day at retreats, a bell would sound, and it was always an invitation to stop what you're doing or talking and come back to your breath. Come home to your body. Come home to yourself. And it's a gradual training of the nervous system to stay rooted here in the depths of ourself. So let's listen to 3 sounds of the bell, sitting comfortably, in that relaxed, open, receptive listening. Taking another deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel the weight of your body settling into the support of your chair, your cushion, the earth beneath you. And as you inhale, feel yourself sitting up a little bit taller, letting your spine come into alignment with your head, and feel into the vastness of the sky above you. And feel yourself fully welcomed into this space, perfectly suspended between heaven and earth. Notice how your body fills up space, the weight, the feel, the way the breath expands to the outer edges of your skin. You belong here. You are welcome here. And bring awareness back to that natural rhythm of your breath. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. In, out. Fully conscious breathing. And begin to ride the breath that carries us from the outer world of doing to the inner peaceful world that is always there at the core of our being. And imagine every inhale as a welcoming, being welcomed to deepen into your body, feeling the way that your body is cradled by your chair or your cushion, feeling yourself cradled by the earth. And feel the welcome from your surroundings. See if there's something green in your space, perhaps a tree outside your window or a plant in your space. And recognize the gift of oxygen, of air, as a gift of love from the plant kingdom to us humans. Receive that gift with every breath you take. Inhaling the welcome. And as you exhale, feel an invitation to let go, to let something melt. Maybe it's some tension in your body or some holding. Maybe it's the tension in your face, your jaw. Maybe there's some tension in your shoulders or your arms, your hands, something that you're grasping too tightly. Let it go. Maybe there's some tension in your chest or your belly. Again, breathing and softening, letting go. Releasing down through the hips and the pelvis, the legs and the feet. Relaxing back to Mother Earth. And as you relax into your body, let each breath be a welcoming presence. Perhaps even silently saying the word welcome as a kind of mantra with your breath. Well, as you breathe in, come as you breathe out. And so this sense of welcoming whatever arises, welcoming physical sensations, maybe tension, maybe ease, maybe places of aliveness or places of numbness, even places of injury or pain. They especially need our tender care and attention. Feel the welcoming and healing breath. Welcome. And notice your thoughts. Thoughts will come and thoughts will go. Welcome and acknowledge them. Then let them go. coming back to your welcoming breath. Welcome. And welcome whatever you're feeling, whether peace and contentment, restlessness or boredom, judgment, uncertainty. All our feelings are pointers to presence, to our true self. So feel, sense, acknowledge, and then soften and let it dissolve. Welcoming all your feelings. And imagine being magnetically drawn to the very core of your being with every breath. And trust the part of you that already knows the way here. Let yourself open and soften and allow everything to be as it is. And so we will rest in silence for about 5 more minutes. And so just taking a moment to notice how you feel, how your body feels now, the state of your mind, your breath, just staying present to your experience and letting this state of meditation kind of flow out now into our life and into the rest of our session. So take a moment and sense what you need. Go ahead and stretch, move. Checking my time here. So I quite often use poetry or readings in my sessions, and I try to relate them to the meditation. And the poem that I've chosen this evening is called Please Come Home. It's by Jane Cooper. And I invite you to listen with your whole body and to listen in a way that is aware of those words or those phrases that really resonate, that seem to shimmer for you, that really speak directly to you. In the Christian tradition, we might call this reading in the Lectio Divina style. And so it's just this allowing the words that speak to us to really enter us at a deeper level than just that surface mind, rational mind level. So I'm going to read this. So go ahead and again, relax, stay in that meditative state that you've hopefully just touched. Please come home. Please come home. Find the place where your feet know where to walk and follow your own trail home. Please come home. Please come home into your own body, your own vessel, your own earth. Please come home into each and every cell and fully into the space that surrounds you. Please come home. Please come home to trusting yourself and your instincts and your ways and your knowing, and even the particular quirks of your personality. Please come home. Please come home, and once you are firmly there, please stay home a while and come to a deep rest within. Please treasure your home. Love and embrace your home. Please get a deep, deep sense of what it's like to be truly home. Please come home. And when you're really, really ready, and there's a detectable urge on the out breath, then please come out. Come home and come forward. Please express who you are to us. And please trust us to see you and hear you and touch you and recognize you. Please come home. Please come home and let us know all the nooks and crannies that are calling to be seen. Please come home. And let us know the more that is there that wants to come out. Please come home. For you belong here now. You belong among us. Please inhabit your place fully so we can learn from you, from your voice, your ways, your presence. Please come home. And when you feel yourself home, please welcome us too. For we too forget that we belong and are welcome, and that we are called to express fully who we are. Please come home. You and you and you and me. Please come home. Thank you, Earth, for welcoming us. And thank you, touch of eyes and ears and skin. Touch of love for welcoming us. May we wake up and remember who we truly are. Please come home. Take a moment and let that really sink in, the sense of coming home to ourselves, our body, our breath, to spirit, to love, to our true self. All right. Lovely words. Oh my goodness. You feel them in your body. So we have a chance now to kind of reflect on and contemplate on those words and also on our practice. So we'll take about we'll take about 5 minutes, and we invited you to have a pen or paper ready. And you're welcome to write whatever you want to. I have a couple suggested questions if you find you can't get started. And you don't necessarily have to write either if you just want to sit and reflect. Or if you're an artist and you want to draw, you can draw whatever is, whatever expresses your inner self. So the first question is more about the meditation. So what did you notice in your meditation, whether it's something in your body or your mind or feelings? Just, and I encourage you to write or contemplate without judgment. Just, wow, this was my experience. And then the second question, if you have time for it, is to just note those words or phrases in the poem, "Please come home," that really spoke to you. All right, so is that clear to everyone? Yeah. So at this point, we'll start the writing for 5 minutes. And I think perhaps Mary Jean will turn the recording off at now, and people watching it later can have their own time for whatever they choose to do in terms of writing or contemplating. So thank you.